Hey everybody, it's MJ from Just Plain Fun. I promise I'm not going to turn this into an unboxing video channel by any means. I'm going to get back to those type studies soon, but I wanted to give a shout out to a good friend of mine who I've never actually met in person by the name of Mike Muscat. And he's my machinist, and he could be your machinist too. And so just as an example, if you come across a lever cap, especially if it's a more expensive one, say a number 5.5 lever cap, and just the tab is broken off and you don't have the means or the skills or whatever to drill that little pin out, you can send it off to Mike and he'll get you taken care of. I'm actually sending this stuff to him, so I'm going to send this to him so they'll have a spare lever to use on your lever cap. And as a side note, he can replace this tab as well and make it look the same way it did when it came from the factory. That's well beyond my skill set, so I appreciate that, Mike. And stuff like this, he's gonna get that stuck screw out if it'll come out. So just a heads up, and that's really what this video is going to be about. I'm going to show you guys some of the repairs that Mike has done for me. And a concerned viewer pointed out that I was not using a Siegley box cutter in order to open up my boxes, and so thank you for that call out. Thanks for letting me know or reminding me. So here we go, the original Siegley number 199. Cool thing about that 199 is I only paid $2 for it at a flea market, and it actually still had at least 3 or 4 good blades inside the handle. And then the fact that it still has the little safety guard on that goes on the blade is just unbelievable, because obviously those are going to be lost the majority of the time. So we're going to try and move this right along, because we're Americans, and Americans are not known for having a long attention span. So I probably won't go through every single one. I'm not going to go through every single one, but just so if you get an example, this is one that Mike replaced or put a new lateral adjust lever on for me. So I know I struggle with these rivets right here, but obviously Mike has a full machinist shop, and so he was able to hook that right up. So little type 9 frog there, 2-inch, so for a number 4 or a number 5, if you happen to need one of those, freshly repaired right there. Freshly repaired, fresh off the boat, if you happen to need one. And it's fairly clean already. This is one that was definitely worth saving. I don't send every frog to him, but this one being a number 5.5 that you can see right there. And so from a type 11-ish era, which I'll cover more on the type study video, but you can see that depression right there. So number 5.5 frog back in action. How awesome is that? Like I said, I'm not going to open everything, so if you've seen one frog repair, you've seen them all. It's mostly lateral adjust levers, because plane falls off the bench and lands on the top. It's going to bend the blade, it's going to break or crack the tote, it's going to bust the lateral adjust lever off the frog. I mean, that's just, it's unfortunate, and that's why we all need the anti-fatigue mats, both for our backs and our knees and ankles and stuff like that, but also to help protect our planes, so that way if one does fall. So this one is actually a compass plane frog, or a number 113 frog. And fun fact, this lateral adjust lever is the same size as what's on a number 2. So if you ever happen to need a new lateral adjust for your number 2, you can get one off of a compass plane if you have a bad broken frog, etc. And so being a machinist, obviously Mike is quite adept at getting stuck screws out. And also, this is what, if I'm not mistaken here, let's see. So yeah, this one had a bad screw hole back here, had a stuck screw, and Mike was able to get that out and get that all set up. And so it was either that or this, but based on the thread in there, I'm pretty sure it was this one back here. I should have looked that up before I made this video, but he was obviously able to hook that up. And then if I'm not mistaken, this should be the number 4 type 17 body right here. And when I was in aircraft maintenance, we used to call sheet metal out, and they used to do what we call a helicoil. is what we called it. I think Mike told me that that's a brand name helicoil, but you can see right here, frog screw, new helicoil installed there, or a new receptacle, whatever you want to call it, new threading. So just a number 4 type 17 body that I refuse to give up on. And so got a little repair action going on, and one of these nights I'll probably get a wild hair and build that one back up out of parts. So big kudos to Mike for fixing that. And then this last one is actually a pattern maker's plane. And because I was, what do I want to say, I was not intelligent enough to go to the hardware store and just try out a bunch of screws there, I sent this one off to Mike thinking that I was going to need to get some screws machined to get new ones made. But he checked the threading first, found out it was a common thread. And so he was able to hook it up with some brass screws there. And so this is a pattern maker's plane. He did trim those down for me, which I'm sure I would have dorked up. So it's just as well that I send it off to him. So this is a pattern maker's plane made by Siegley. And what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to go ahead and put this little guy together and show it to you, because this is actually going to be going up on eBay, up for auction. And if anybody happens to be interested in it, you can bid on it. So here she is in all of her glory. Again, this is a Siegley pattern maker's plane. So you can see it's got the number 6 lever cap there. And it's got the original intact tote, which is kind of cool that it's not broken, especially considering how old this plane is. And then you already saw the soles, but the idea with a pattern maker's plane, of course, is you can put any one of these soles on there, and then in this particular case it has the matching iron that goes along with it. So this is number 18 there, and then you can see on the top of the iron it's got number 18. And same thing with, this is number 24, and then number 24. So pretty cool stuff. Pattern maker's plane. Just replace the sole on it, and it's a more multifunctional plane, I guess you might say. So very cool stuff. And then of course your just straight edge that you can use, presumably without a sole installed, although the mouth is a little wider on that. So the main thing is, big shout out to Mike Muscat. Thank you for all of your work, and I'm sure we will continue to work together. And then if those of you out in YouTube land that are watching this, or just plain fun, the parts division on Facebook, if you have parts that you're either not comfortable with or repairing, or you don't have the skills, the know-how, the tools, let me know, let Mike know, and he will get you squared away. Thanks for watching.